Open us up this time. Bust that thing wide open.
Okay. Hey everybody, welcome to Average Pros.
Average Pros.
The weekly catch-up. Sorry we missed last week. This guy was
on vacation. That is my
the
fault.
French
completely.
Riviera or something like that?
No, it was St. George Island down in Florida. It was a beautiful place.
Oh, okay.
It was very nice.
I've never been. I hear it's desolate.
I don't know what
Which
that
is
means.
actually a good thing. That's not a lot of people.
Not a lot of people. That's
Not
correct.
a lot of things.
Not a lot of things.
Just
for sure.
nature, reconnect with your family and nature.
You know, it's just able to have one-on-one time with the kiddos, the wife, you know,
That's
all
awesome.
that crap. Yeah. Pay my dues.
Yeah,
I'm just
unwind.
kidding. It was amazing. No, it was a great trip. My kids are growing up. It's fun. I got
Awesome.
4 of them
Yeah.
and a godson named Lincoln.
Yeah.
Love him.
He calls you Uncle Brent.
Yes. I actually love him more than my kids. So either way. All right, the catch up. Episode 3 here without Mav. Mav is outside
He's
still
working.
doing work.
He's
I
working.
guess.
I mean, we're on the clock. Oh wait, we don't punch clocks.
We don't ever punch clock. But guess what? Money never sleeps.
That's right. We're here. We're at work.
Sorry. I didn't mean for that to get so
So
dark.
we have some interesting subjects. Most of them are sports related.
Most of them, yes.
And want to start us off there? It's kind of
Yeah, first one is Texas, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Maybe coming to the SEC.
Yeah, 2025
That's what it's saying.
would be like they're not renewing their membership to the club. So it gives them the opportunity to join another league or be independents or whatever. But everybody's saying they're coming to SEC.
Okay, so let's
They
just
are
play
nowhere near the Southeast. They're actually Midwest and Southwest.
But hey, if you can't beat them, what's they say?
Man,
Join
I
them.
just want to see Matt McConaughey at a
Oh.
Georgia game or an Auburn game,
All right,
raising
all right,
those
all right.
Longhorns, man.
What I like about them college girls,
Because did you know McConaughey is actually?
they travel well.
I think he's part owner of the new soccer team in Texas too.
Did that voice come off as Bill Clinton-ish a little bit there when I tried to do Matthew McConaughey?
Do it again.
All right, all right, all right.
Yeah, that
Yep.
was kind of like
I did not have sexual relations. That one.
that's like maybe a Family Guy representation, like if
Yeah,
Seth,
it's a little throaty.
yeah.
I did that on purpose because I don't want to mock either one of those guys. One, the Clintons will
You
kill
don't
me.
want to die. You don't want to die.
For sure.
He doesn't want to get suicide with John McAfee and Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
All those other guys that are into that stuff. Anyways, there's a good chance they come to the SEC because I mean they already added Mizzou and Texas A&M. So
Yeah.
they
So
don't
if you
have
do
to-
that, then you'd have to readjust, like we talked about earlier.
you have to
readjust
move
the
both
SEC.
Alabama teams to the east because they're the first.
So then the East would line up as South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Auburn, Alabama,
Mizzou. Mizzou's in the east
and Mizzou.
and Florida. Did you say Florida? Oh my gosh. Well, we're just doing audio from the
I like it. Either
from
way,
the camera.
it sounded great at the beginning.
Yeah, it sounded great. These batteries are garbage,
Garbage.
by the way. We have this little thing to make the audio sound better.
We just need to get a plug this long.
Yeah, so, hopefully the audio picks up pretty well. I got my external mic hooked up to the camera.
Thank God for Google.
Yeah, and we're not starting over.
No, we're not. Fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think move the 2 Alabama teams to the East, and you've got all the competition you need. You've got all the
God,
rivalries and stuff.
that would be crazy.
Would be intact because the Iron Bowl is still it would still be a rivalry that's intact, but then you can create new yearly games.
Yeah. You got Alabama, Georgia
And
every year.
you would have to cut out at least one garbage game.
Which they should get to
SEC
that
teams
anyway.
all do, and it's the stupidest thing because they end up screwing up their ranks.
Yeah.
Like Murray State and Appalachian State and stuff like that. Like you should never, as an SEC, an elite team, everybody knows they are the elite of the Power 5.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
That's how OU gets in the top 4 is because they play their conference. They don't play garbage games. There's not, even like other Power 5 conferences, they don't play a lot of teams outside their conference. SEC and the ACC do.
Yeah, which is dumb, I think.
It is
but
dumb.
It's money, I guess.
It's money, but gosh.
Wouldn't you rather just have that competition.
With the glory comes the gold. Trust me.
Yes.
Win
Yes.
those natties, win those bowl games.
You get the money,
get the higher
yeah.
rankings.
Then you get the money.
The
But now that
ESPN.
may all change now that they're paying athletes, right?
Yeah, but the school's not paying the athletes. They have permission to make money off of their likeness, their jerseys, their autographs, things like that.
I get it.
It's a great thing. But moving on, because
So Texas, Oklahoma,
we were just
come to
talking
the
about
SEC.
football there.
Go to the SEC and get your
Big
wig
implications for
split.
baseball too, because
And basketball.
Oh gosh, basketball. I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of big implications for all these college sports from these two schools coming. I mean, maybe they're not good at one sport, but they're powerhouses at another. So
And it's good for the players on those
yeah.
teams to play
And to be able
against
to
Nick
travel
Saban
too,
and all that stuff that, then it cuts out all that. If they were in the SEC, they get beat every week. Well, we'll see.
yeah, we will.
We'll see. We'll try.
see.
Come and see.
Because you have different offensive schemes and stuff too. Anyways, so outside of college sports, we got the NFL training camps
Started
started up
today
and with good news with that, at least for my team.
for your team. He's a Green Bay Packers fan.
Aaron
of
Rodgers
course.
has said he's going to play, and all the talk is about restructuring his contract to where he has an easy out for the next season. So Green Bay gets one more year with him. He gets
Last dance.
he gets the mental clarity of, hey, you know what? I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to whip ass, and that way I can move to another city, move to another team, probably be closer to his that'd be wife, Shailene Woodley. I mean, she's in Hollywood and stuff.
Yeah.
He grew up in California. He probably wants to go west. I mean,
What team would be a good fit for him?
everybody was talking about Denver this year, but like it makes sense. Like he could play on the Rams because Stafford's not really gonna. I mean, they're giving him a season, but he can play for the Rams. He can play for the 49ers. He grew up being a 49ers fan, and Garoppolo keeps. I mean, he's got limbs made of jelly.
Yeah, who did they draft?
Gosh, I can't remember, man. That was a couple months ago.
They didn't draft a quarterback, though, did they?
No.
I thought they did.
Maybe I don't recall.
Well, if I was Rodgers,
Or even like the LA Chargers. I mean, they've got a.
I'd go John Gruden, Vegas, Derek Carr out of there.
Yeah, but so
He's okay. I like him. Don't get me
There was
wrong.
rumors that Tom Brady was gonna go there. But
Yeah.
everybody thought that the guys like, they were staying with that guy.
Yeah.
About Derek Carr, but Derek Carr was like, nah, that definitely wasn't me. They didn't say that about me.
Yeah, like.
So I don't know. I
But,
wouldn't want to work for him personally.
If I'm not in Green Bay, and there's just not a bit he's got a team. He's got Devontae Adams.
well,
Jones.
he's got Devontae Adams for this year because I mean,
But if he stays, Devontae stays.
right, maybe, but I mean, his contract talks broke down.
He broke down because of Rodgers, I believe.
Well, I don't know because people were talking about this before, like huge stuff about
Yeah.
Rodgers. They were talking about he was going to be the highest paid, sources say highest paid in the NFL receiver, and he posted cap on his Twitter in response to it, which is slang for all you guys that don't know. The youngsters say cap.
Cap for
When
truth.
something is not true. Yeah.
I
Cap
thought it
is
was
if
like
it's not
no-
true. No,
no-
man, that's cap. That's not true.
What about no cap? I mean, it
No
is
cap
true.
means it's true. Yeah.
I get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
My bad. I've been using this wrong this whole time. Thankfully, I've never used it.
No.
I will start using it with my customers from now.
That would seem kind
Hey,
of
that's no cap,
but
right?
that would seem kind of sus, dude. That's another one of those slangs that these little kids use.
That's great. That's good right there.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah,
That is great.
don't use them too much because they might sheesh you.
Stop it. Stop this guy.
Anyways,
Who you picking to go to the Super Bowl? Is it way too early to do that? Can we-
I would love the Packers to go to the Super Bowl, but they get so close so often and don't go there.
Let's ask the most important
They're
question.
1 for 5 in NFC.
Who's going to be your
Championship.
first fantasy football pick?
I
know it depends on where you pick from, but if you're hoping, who do you want?
I don't know, man. I love getting Adams, man, because
He's great. And he's going to put you 20 points a game.
yeah, he's such a good running back. He's so good. He's so enthusiastic. He's such a nice guy too.
Yeah, I love him.
On top of all that,
I would go
What
like
about you?
McCaffrey or something like that.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Healthy.
Yeah, healthy Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
Or healthy Justin Fields. Screw the Bears. Hate the Bears.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about the NFL, let's talk about this whole COVID vax crap.
Well,
Not crap. Don't get me wrong. I
so
don't mean to
they
say
have
it
a new
like that.
the NFL. Roger Goodell came up with a new policy. Is like, hey, you're going to forfeit a game if COVID prevents the game from happening. We're not going to reschedule and do all this dancing like we did last year, because last year that was kind of annoying and it was tough on some players to play games so close together and reschedule like Tuesday night football and like random days of the week they were playing, and not enough rest days in between after recovering from COVID in some cases, or being quarantined or whatever. So this year it's just going to be a forfeit. There's going to be a loss. It's going to show up as an L. What sucks is it's going to show up as a W on a team that didn't actually earn a W. That's my biggest issue with it. So some organizations are creating their own policies of, hey, you have to be vaccinated or else you can't work for us. And Rick Dennison is
Coach from Minnesota.
Yeah, he's like an O-line coach and also like a run coordinator or something like that.
Yeah, so the reports are, which again, we don't know how factual this is, but the reports are that he's
being fired because
he refuses
to get a COVID vaccine. And there's a lot of hospitals all around the country, hospital systems that are requiring their staff to be vaccinated because of widespread availability. Also, the new variant is spreading like at a faster rate. Not more infections because there's so many people that are vaccinated already in the country, but it spreads at a higher rate. I saw some crazy statistic. I don't know how true it'll become or whatever, but it was like if you're not vaccinated and haven't recently had COVID, to have the antibodies, you're going to get this Delta variant within the next 30 to 60 days. You're going to have it.
Really?
So, yeah, which would mean herd immunity and things can go back to normal quickly.
Yeah.
Because if there's nowhere for the virus to go and spread and infect, because of antibodies in everybody, I mean, I don't know. It could be a blessing in disguise. But this guy, he got fired, maybe got fired. I support it.
I get it. So again, no matter where you fall on,
they're not forcing you to work there.
Again, the truth. I do think it's hard to fire somebody over a personal. You're asking someone to inject something into their body.
Right, but
what if their religious beliefs?
No, they don't let you go to school without like tetanus shots. I had to get one to go to Georgia Tech.
No, I get it, but I'm just saying though, like
I had to get an injection in my body to go there. They wouldn't let me go otherwise.
I get it, but you chose to go there, but all of a sudden you
Right,
worked for a company for years, and they changed their policy overnight, and you're like, hey man, my back. I'm not gonna get it. Okay, we're gonna fire you. That's kind of BS.
It's not written in the contract. Now, I bet you there are going to be a lot of contracts that have it written in there now. But
I just think if you're going to force people, it's one thing to force people to get a vaccination. I get you should if you believe that it helps everybody and do it.
Cops pull you over when you don't wear your seatbelt. Personal choice too. But I mean,
I get it. But what you're saying is not a personal choice.
No, it's a personal choice to work for the Minnesota Vikings for Rick Dennison. It's his personal choice to work.
I get it. But he worked there before the policy change.
Right.
So you don't see that you don't see any benefit, like you don't see his part of it at all.
Risking the team like win schedule and stuff if he came down with COVID or whatever. Yeah, I mean like that's just Minnesota's policy. Not every NFL.
No, I get it. I just think it's a stupid policy. I think it's dumb. You got people on your staff. This guy's a veteran coach, and you're like, hey, we're changing our policy. You got to get this COVID vax. Well, I'm gonna get it. Okay, you're fired. I think it's kind of crappy. But again, it's their policy. They can do it. They're gonna try to force it on you.
Coaches that get fired, they get millions of dollars when they get fired too, typically. So I mean, like the guy's probably not going to be hurting from it. They're probably going to give him some kind of severance or part of his contract or something like that.
But if everybody else gets the vaccine and he doesn't,
right? If that's their policy, policy, and he's the only one that is getting fired, that means everybody complied.
Yeah, I get it.
It's like what people say about when somebody, shoots somebody in a traffic stop. They said they should have complied. He should have complied and got his vaccine, else he wouldn't have got fired.
I get that, but I still think the man has his rights.
And his rights aren't being violated.
That's true.
Where you work is
you have to get it. Either live or die.
If he was not under, if his employment is. his choice too. It's the company's choice and it's his choice. Any
No
jobs
loyalty,
like that.
no nothing, just out the door. You get stuck with this needle or you're fired.
Yeah.
BS. I guess. Whatever. I wouldn't quit, so they wouldn't fire me.
Right. A lot of people have quit at a lot of places because they don't want to, and it's
Like
totally
DeAndre Hopkins is like, I'm not going to play in the NFL. They're going to force me to get a vaccine.
Yeah, it's a lot of choices. I mean,
I get your
it
reason
sucks
for
that the
wanting to
choice has
do
be
it,
made,
but like,
you know,
let them, if they're willing to take the risk, let them take the risk. If they're willing to get them.
well, no, it's not a risk to themselves anymore. Like I'm vaccinated. Like I don't feel at risk of other people not. Being
I get it.
vaccinated,
So
you know what I mean?
if you're vaxxed, then you shouldn't care about who's not vaxxed because you're fine, right?
Well, I mean, there are people in my family who have that same belief that he does and refuse to get vaccinated. And,
Yeah.
and you know, I've talked to them, I've discussed with them.
Yeah.
I want them to. They're at risk, you know, and they're still not doing it. That's their choice.
their
I'm not
choice.
gonna like not be a member of the family anymore because of that. But you know,
But the crazy thing is, there's a lot of people who choose not to be.
but there
Which I think, like,
there are risks to people that also refuse to get vaccinated at this point. And
It's a risky. It's a real virus. It's going to make you sick. You're risking not to get the vaccine, but I do feel like it still falls on the person to take that risk. If they want to make the risk, who am I to judge who takes the
so
risk?
get a different job. That's all I'm
Exactly.
saying. He can get a different job.
I just think it's a little crappy in Minnesota. Is all I'm saying.
I'm not saying it's not. It's their policy, but we haven't heard of any other team doing that.
No, I agree. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that I think it's crappy on their part.
Minnesota is.
But they suck anyway.
Yeah,
Who's their
they
quarterback? Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, sometimes when he decides to show up and throw balls.
Yeah. Hey, you should let him refuse the vax. Fire him. You should nuke you. Or let him not get it and let him die. Either way. Sorry, too far. All right, let's talk about the Olympics. Things that never die.
Olympics, yeah.
COVID tried to kill it.
Yeah, and it's still apparently Japan's having some issues there because they were so good at the masking and social distancing. They didn't have a lot of spread, but then when the vaccine rolled out, they didn't really rush to go get their population vaccinated. So they had kind of an outbreak issue. But I don't know, they're playing the games and some records are being broken.
Right now, Japan, a little fishy that they are leading in the gold medals by one. Their home cooking, I get it.
If you think about it,
In Tokyo, Japan?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
Outside of just being home court advantage, whenever a host city or a host country wins the bid, which was 2013, they won the bid, I think. That's when it was announced, hey, Tokyo is going to host the Olympics in 2020. Like the whole country, you know, every elite athlete in the country that maybe wouldn't have thought of traveling overseas to compete at the Olympic level suddenly is like, oh my gosh, this is my chance.
Yeah.
And they train and they work. I mean, so that's why you notice host countries will have a lot more than normal. But Japan's always been a good,
Yeah, they're good.
sports.
USA's only one down.
Yeah, and Russia this year, interestingly enough, because they're banned for the doping thing, if you see ROC, like I was like, what is that, Republic of Congo or something? What does that mean? It's Russian Olympic Committee. So Russia's flag and anthem are not represented at the games, but Russian athletes are because
They're part of the committee.
well, yeah,
They created a thing to be a
the
part of.
Russian Olympic Committee was able to send Russian athletes to compete in the games to win medals and stuff because if their coaches and stuff were doping them and or forcing them to be doped or whatever, steroids and then it's not really you shouldn't punish every athlete in Russia.
Yeah.
And they've done okay.
Yeah. What I like about the Olympics is there's sports that you don't normally get to watch, like water polo is great.
Yeah.
3-on-3 basketball now, skateboarding, like you said.
Skateboarding has finally
No.
made it to the Olympics after all these
How
years.
pissed
they've
would you
been
be
trying.
if you were Tony Hawk?
Yeah, the guys, I think the guy could still score pretty high. The guy, he was doing an interview the other day before the skateboarding thing, and he was talking about how he goes through a board every week to 2 weeks, like through a board, like either breaks it or wears it out. That's how much that guy skates. He takes them everywhere with him. He actually carved up the street and the pool course before the actual heats.
That's pretty crazy.
But yeah,
He would be he'd be like Michael Phelps.
Nah,
Wouldn't you think?
He won so many like X Games.
X Games stuff like he's
other
made
world
and that
competitions
freaking
and stuff.
video game, dude. That's where he made his money.
They remastered and
Did
re-released
you watch that
1 and
video
2
about how,
together.
like, they were like, he sat down, he didn't know how much he made, and they wrote him, gave him a check like $5 million.
Yeah,
And
that's.
he's like, what? They're like, hey, we're
that's-
gonna redo this. We're gonna do this again.
Yeah. And,
Now, it was a great game. I played it.
And the soundtracks were great because they were like old school, kind of like alternative and punk
Yeah,
rock
and
music.
it just goes with skating.
Dead Kennedys and NoFX and stuff, and there was you could put the PlayStation disc in a CD player and play the soundtrack to the game.
That's
which,
why he's the best.
Which
right
was
there.
cool because
I did not know that.
The other versions, like the N64 version, you couldn't do that with because
I had the N64, that's the reason.
There were cartridges.
Yeah, exactly. I
But the
would've-
music was still good.
Yeah, music was great. I just didn't have PlayStation money back then. You know what I mean? So the cool thing about Olympics are you get these cool stories where this one kid, this 8th place qualifier, wins gold medal from a country that it's amazing. It's great. And Pink, you tell me about the story about Pink.
I don't think this has to do with the Olympics, but it has to do with sports, and you'd think it has to do with the Olympics. I thought it had to do with it when I first read it, but we were talking about Pink as being like
Yeah, last week.
a female pop singer from the 90s and early 2000s. She has agreed to pay a fine that the Norwegian women's beach handball team is facing. It's €175 per player that refuses to wear bikini bottoms.
Yeah.
They're wearing shorts, and they're like tight shorts anyways, but think about it, Norway is an incredibly cold country in parts of the season, and bikini bottoms, the men's team play with shorts. So like, it's a sexist, they're trying to sexualize the team. And,
Terrible.
And Pink is like, I will pay their fines, every game they get fined. And I think there was another, the women's tennis player that was in that movie with Steve Carell a couple years ago, the real life women's tennis player. She agreed.
Anna Kournikova?
No, she agreed to, like from back in the day. She agreed to pay for the fines too. She jumped in. So
Nice.
I think it's really really cool that
That's amazing.
they're standing up for over sexualization of young women and whatnot in sports because it's a beach sport or whatever, but let them be comfortable.
Yeah.
There's no unfair advantage to having shorts versus bikini bottoms.
Yeah.
And-
Aerodynamic if they wear thongs, though, is what I read.
Yeah, so there's like a specific measurements. They can't be like more than so many centimeters wide, the straps or something. It's so stupid. I'm good for Pink. I love it.
Good for Pink.
Yeah, it makes me feel
And guys, get your eyes off those women. Jeez.
They're athletes. They're elite athletes.
They're elite athletes.
There's this
those
hilarious-
gymnasts are freaking great.
There's this hilarious lady rugby player for the U.S. team that's on TikTok. She has these funny TikToks. I can't even remember her name, like Ilana Maher or something. I didn't know that female rugby was an Olympic sport, but it is. I think it's awesome.
I think it's amazing.
That's a tough sport, but
Badminton.
badminton.
I watched that the other morning. The crazy thing is, like, I'm seeing these guys play. I'm like, bro, I could barely hit a thing over the net. How are you able to swipe these things left and right? And I'm like, dude, when I hit badminton, I missed it most of the time, or hit the wrong part of it and it went straight down.
There's just elite athletes.
That's what it is.
One thing though, one negative is apparently Japan underestimated the temperature. It's apparently really, really hot in Japan right now. And they were talking about how mild it would be and, how the temperatures would be in the 70s or something like that. And they're like, just like it is down here, it's like in the 90s, high 80s, 90s. People are fainting, passing out
That's
and stuff. Luckily nobody's like gotten seriously injured or anything like that. But it does suck that some of these things are outdoor sports and they don't have any shade or whatever.
Yeah.
Come
on in, Matt Dog. Matt's gonna join us here. Hey, our recording thing stopped.
It stopped in the middle. The batteries are
But hey,
kind of weird. But
we're bumping batteries. Bump those batteries, shawty. So we jumped here. We're there, or we can catch it back up real quick. Texas OU coming to SEC. What do you think about that quick take? What do you think?
I think it's pretty crazy. I mean, I'd be excited if it happened.
Yeah, 2025 is what they're saying.
Yep.
They get their wigs split in if they come over.
Hey, they guaranteed themselves an 8-4 record every year now.
100%.
Yeah.
And also, like, that means you would have to put Alabama and Auburn in.
It'd be a true East-West.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty cool.
That'd be pretty dope.
But they've also talked about 4 other teams to make a mega conference.
Why don't you just change it and just do like an NFL, like an NCAA?
I think it's kind of crazy.
Break it on the southeast, north.
When you have
There's
too
so many
of them,
colleges.
When you have too many of them, it's gonna be
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough.
Oh yeah, I mean they're talking about like 20 teams. That's
Oof,
crazy.
That's dumb. I wouldn't do that. That'd take
You don't
money
have a
away
long
from
enough
everybody.
season for that.
No.
Well, you just have to restructure the way that the games are played.
You have to add more playoffs, I suppose.
Well, so this whole number one is what's deferring the 12
Yeah.
team
Because
playoff
then
right
you have
now.
playoff games
Oh,
in the
gosh.
conference.
Because now
I didn't realize that was being delayed too.
that was delayed once they announced this, and the NIL stuff has really kind of pushed it back because they're saying that the whole thing from Santa Rosa is that's such a massive revenue generator. Now you've got 53 kids per team that are
Yeah.
cutting into that slice.
Wow.
So you imagine that with 12 teams.
That's nuts.
Next on the list was the NFL
NFL.
camp opening. We talked mainly about the Packers and Rodgers probably coming back and all that stuff.
You know what you think was going
Do you have any hot takes on that?
No, that was pretty much it. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool that he's doing it to basically structure his way out.
Yeah, smart. The other one was the coach.
That really blew my mind, honestly. When I read that yesterday,
It's
like
nuts.
I was kind of like, you can fire him for that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know that it was his choice to be let go.
No, it was his choice. It's his choice to work where he wants to work.
Sure.
And if
Sure.
their policy is their policy, then
Policy changes.
it's their choice to make their policy.
They can fire. They can. At the end of the day, they can. What I was just saying is,
Yeah, it's
Crappy.
shit for it. I mean, it sucks for
Oh
him.
yeah, I mean it's
You
a
can't-
terrible situation to be in to go just because someone feels a certain way about it. That I mean, but we've talked about this with the NFL stuff before. I mean, you can beat your wife and shit, but
Yeah.
don't worry, you can play
He
Sunday.
could work for another team that doesn't have that policy too.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know that there will be any, but
Well, none of the other teams have come out and said stuff like that.
there's been one other coach, and I can't remember. He was a lower level coach though,
Uh-huh.
that was also
Oh, okay.
involuntarily
Let go.
not
there's only
invited, not
there's like
invited
four
to
people
camp.
four people in the Falcons that haven't had it done.
Yeah, I think they're on a list though.
Yeah.
Like they're like waiting to get it done, but
Yeah.
everybody else in the organization.
Then we talked about the Olympics.
I'll be honest with you, I watched my first bit of Olympics today while I was eating some Mama Goldbergs and
Yeah.
saw the 200-meter swim.
Nice.
Okay.
That was
A great new sport. The new things in the Olympics this
Skateboarding.
year is skateboarding.
I think that's pretty dope though.
That's pretty
it-
dope.
It is pretty cool.
It's
Like,
such
'cause
a
I literally
ton of
watched like X Games and stuff this year
Yeah.
because of all the COVID restrictions and stuff like that. They've literally done it in people's backyards.
Yeah,
so
I
like,
remember
that.
so like the BMX trials and everything this year, Ryan something, I can't think of his name, he has a 10,000 foot compound in California. And he has this beautiful, like out of place but Victoria style mansion house. And then just, he had like his own little quarter pipe and stuff. To see what they turned this thing into, it's like the most difficult to navigate BMX course I've ever
I
seen
have,
in
to
my
look that up.
life.
I have to look up the X Games from this year.
They did
I know it was
the-
like very recently, right? The X
2 weeks
Games?
ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. And they did all of the dirt bike stuff at Axel Hodges. You guys probably seen the buttery film stuff. The guy that does the crazy jumps and lands on one wheel going
Yeah.
down. They did it in
Yeah.
his compound in California. It's pretty neat to see that that's how they're making up their ground and stuff. But I think that being in the Olympics is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty dope. And then 3-on-3 basketball has been great to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
been fun.
How about the USA getting blown out by
I'm thinking they
France?
suck.
You know, the women's soccer team got blown out by Sweden in the first game match, and then the second match they come back and they absolutely killed New Zealand 6-1. And actually, they would have had like 9 if they wouldn't have had like 4 offside goals in the first.
And they were almost
half.
consecutive.
Yeah, it was like over and over and over again. They kept on like kicking offsides and getting goals, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. This could have been like a 10-point game.
Yeah. It would have been a baseball score instead of a soccer score.
Anyways, it's good to know that the U.S. women may get gold again at the Olympics in soccer. So because
pretty-
the men's team can't. They
Yeah,
can't seem
it's
to
terrible.
string
Do we have a
together.
men's team?
They suck.
Nah,
I saw them
couldn't remember.
get beat by Jamaica one time, 2015, in Atlanta at Georgetown.
Nice.
The Gold Cups, not semifinals. Yeah, semifinals.
Yeah.
They suck.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So last topic is a little pop culture. Oh, J-Lo, Ben. What do you think about those guys?
Jennifer.
What do you think about those guys getting back together?
Good for them.
How long? When did they first get together? 96?
Late 90s or
I was
early
gonna say
2000s.
early 2000s. early 2000s.
I just remember Ben in the Jenny from the Block music video,
Yeah.
like resting his head on her butt or something
Hey,
on the
so
boat or whatever.
someone tweeted because they took another picture of him doing that.
Oh, really?
And so
They remade it?
They remade that photo.
20 years later.
It's hilarious.
I mean, that's what she's known for.
Yeah, that's the Block.
Aside from being very good at singing and acting,
Yeah.
and singing and acting at the same time. In the case of Selena,
What's your favorite J-Lo movie?
In the case of Selena, I was going to say Selena. That's my favorite J-Lo movie.
There's one that I'm thinking of, but I don't know the name of it.
Okay.
I'm trying to think.
She's a maid.
Oh yeah.
Maid in Manhattan.
Maid in Manhattan.
There it is.
Matthew
There it is.
McConaughey.
That was actually on my TV. No, Dempsey from
Yeah, Robert Dempsey.
What's the one I'm
Not
thinking about?
Robert,
Matthew
not
McConaughey.
Robert.
that.
Was J-Lo in it?
Mm-hmm.
U-turn. Is Matthew McConaughey in that? I don't know.
I may be thinking of something else.
Maybe.
We just talked about Matthew McConaughey earlier. Still thinking about it.
Yeah.
Still thinking.
We were just talking about it'd be cool to see him at a Texas Longhorns game.
That would be
somewhere
super
here
awesome.
in the southeast.
Like-
Because he would definitely be there.
Yeah.
He's freaking all of them.
All right.
But,
Again, my Bill Clinton voice.
you know, I like Ben Affleck probably better as an actor than.
What's your favorite Ben Affleck movie?
His worst one's Batman.
Yeah, that one wasn't.
It was horrible.
Yeah, I mean,
It just wasn't.
he's
It
just
wasn't
not
the
a-
movie.
he's just not a
He's just
Batman.
not Batman.
I mean, the redo.
The Town is great.
Zack Snyder redo
Was
Batman was better, and he's in that. But yeah, the Town was really
Town's
good.
awesome.
I really like that
Town's
movie.
amazing.
Yeah.
His brother-in-law directed that.
Yep.
Casey Affleck, or his brother. Yeah, not brother-in-law. Paycheck.
Paycheck's
was
a
also
good movie.
Really good.
That's a good movie.
I like The Accountant.
The Accountant's a good
I
movie.
think that's a great movie.
I was confusing Paycheck with The Accountant. The Accountant's what I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Yes.
That was a great movie.
I'm glad I knew
He was
where you
also
were
in
going with
Paycheck. He was all right, I guess, but
Pearl Harbor, great movie.
that was kind of weak. Yeah, that was kind of a weak.
that. There wasn't a lot of acting that had to be
Done.
done.
You know, just a lot of like, you know,
running,
What's
happening?
run and hide stuff.
yeah, just
I thought he played a good movie, a good part of it. What was the other guy that was in it?
Good Will
Josh?
Hunting was also really good, but it was more
I haven't
Matt.
seen that in a long time. though.
Matt Damon
yeah.
focused.
Yeah, that was mainly.
He didn't act. I think Ben Affleck had a little bit part in that movie, didn't he?
Small
But
piece.
He co-wrote it with Matt Damon.
Yeah.
So
I think it's really funny to see some of Matt Damon's like behind the scenes as a director and how like livid.
oh my gosh,
He gets
I saw
with
that
people.
video of like him. Who was he? He was like cussing somebody out about-
Recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the same thing. I mean, he looked like a little freaking Nazi.
Yeah, he was
Behind
so
the
mad
camera.
about like
They were almost gonna fight.
he was
It was
like,
crazy.
"Do you read stage directions?"
He was.
The guy was
screaming.
asking for a line, is what it was. Like there was a cut take, and the guy asked for his line, and he got so mad.
He was super pissed. He was literally wanting to go fight this guy because he
That's
forgot what to
awesome.
say.
Yeah, it was like a Christian Bale moment.
Yeah,
It
it's
was like
great.
he was degrading. the person.
Christian Bale's great.
So wasn't J-Lo with A-Rod?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they broke up.
Broke up. Apparently, was he
Did
like
he know
cheating
they
on her or
broke
something? Was he like cheating on her or something?
I don't know. He's like almost a billionaire. So
Yeah, he just bought a baseball team or something.
I know
He
he's-
doesn't care.
He's been doing these businesses and all that stuff.
I like it, A-Rod.
Um,
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
I don't think so. He's not that good.
He's a Hall of Famer, I think.
Tell me what he's done to be a Hall of Famer.
Look
He
at
was-
his record.
like, I mean, just like on the Yankees is what it was.
That's what I'm saying.
He's got some of the best.
He's no
stuff.
Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he should.
Oh, he wasn't
Guy was
there.
fast.
Derek Jeter was like the only person
He's
in the
fast.
last 50 years to have every vote but one.
Yes, because it's Jeter.
Yeah.
Or was it unanimous?
It was unanimous.
Yeah. He's
No, I think one person said no.
Boston fan.
Good
He
bet.
is a Red Sox fan.
Good bet. Well, I hate that you get popped in sort of at the end.
Hey, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay. I'm just glad I got to be here.
Work calls and everything.
That's it.
Um,
There's some good topics though.
yeah.
Great topics.
Sorry about the technical difficulties.
It sucks.
So is it just the phone or these two?
Oh no, we're just
We had this going.
yeah,
Just
it
the camera?
cut off in the middle.
Mm.
So
We'll get
anyways,
better.
we'll fix it
Love
next
you.
week.
Bye.
Yes.